Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for the likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions to the channel. Your support is always appreciated. Today we're doing a veteran mode segment. It's an A to B style gameplay to see how long it takes a typical veteran player to go from just spawning in to establishing a foundation. Alright, let's see where we get our start. As we jump in here from scratch. Brand new character coming into the game in veteran mode. We're going to see if this is going to be a good start for us, or will we have to do the / respawn. Today, so very happy. Performance is so much better. Also got the newest Windows 10 update to the computer as well. Looks like we are looks like it's O-line. Yep, we are in the O-line area. I believe that's the way that was pronounced. O-line. Well, we can work with this because we're not too far from where I really want to be. Alright, and as usual, the shiv. As you guys know, when I was playing on Badwater Canyon, I put down a stash and had some players put their foundation right on top of mine. Now you notice I'm not just trying to grab anything, because I am looking for very specific stuff. It's going to be tools, a new weapon. Actually, we'll grab some cloth for bandages if we need them. Alright, now a new player of course is not going to know maybe where to particularly go or what to get. That's fine. Actually, I'm going to swap this out. And let's see. We'll go ahead and grab a nail. We'll go ahead and grab some steel. And I think that's going to be about it. Unless we can find some water. Let's go ahead and get some cloth going here too. And we'll start making some bandages. There used to be a Jeep spawn right here, if I recall. You guys remember that? It was like a Jeep spawn here, right where I was standing. And then I think another one could spawn up here too. Let's see what we got here. Something old school I used to do. Bust glass out of the windows, let me know where I was, especially if I was like in Lone Pine. Sometimes I'd bust out windows just so I could remember where I was in case a player comes along, talks to me, or something like that, and then I'd kind of lose track of what house I was in. Alright, so there we have our axe. So if you're a brand new player, I kind of just want to show you some of these little tidbits that we as veteran players do. Now, it depends on the player really, as far as like, are you disciplined enough not to pick up certain items and not others? I think I said that correctly. I got distracted there just for 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and take that and scrap it. Alright, so now we have a defensive weapon, offensive weapon, which is the machete, and an axe. You're saying, well, why not use the axe? Well, because right now the development team has it to where if you use the axe only for wood, or what its intended purpose is, then it won't get anywhere, and that's a good thing. Now, I like the boots over the gaiters simply because they do add, I think the boots add a tiny bit of additional movement. Now, what we're really going to score is if we can find a backpack, of course. Would like to find a backpack if possible. And I think I will get the plastic. We'll actually put that in the satchel. Let's do this. Let's move the building material to the satchel. And, okay, so we picked the twine up. Twine is really not really critical for us right now. So we're going to dump the twine. And we're at 26. So let's go ahead and make some field bandages. Or field gauze. It's another thing that's been changed too, just recently. Changes to bandages. Let's go ahead and we'll eat some canned goods. This way we'll get some steel as well, because so far we have not found a crowbar, which we're going to want. we're going to want at least 5 bandages. So again, that would have been a nice weapon to get. I'm going to pass it up though, because it's important to beeline. Just for me though, just for me. I'm just playing like in my mode. Wrench is also a good thing to have, because usually if you come across those kind of items that you wouldn't normally find, because you know how it is, if you're looking for something, it's almost twice as hard to find it. But if you're just out and you just come across it, just go ahead and grab it, because you will have use for it. Like that wrench. That wrench would have been probably not a really bad idea to have that. I don't need the wood, but I will keep the nail. So that was kind of a reason why I did that. We're going to go ahead and drop the twine. It sounds like we got a wolf out there. Don't really need the meat, really, right now. But, because we can always pick berries. Okay, so he's fighting that zombie. So that's good. So the zombie's going to be weakened, too. Alright, so we're going to just grab... Of course, it is a different strategy going from, say, PvP to PvE, of course. So you may not necessarily want to be playing in this particular mode if you're on PvP. I'm just kind of trying to show you guys like a straight line, bell-to-bell type thing. Alright, so in here we found our pick. So another good building item. And I like it because it's only 100 bulk, so we can actually put it here in our satchel. And now if we can, we want to try to find a crowbar, because we're going to need that to be able to gather steel. I ran right past that zombie. If I don't have to fight a zombie, I'm not going to. So hopefully over here in one of these houses, we might even be able to find a katana. Wow, there are a lot of zombies over here. I went AFK there for a second. That's why we're on a different clip of the video. But man, there's a lot of zombies over here. That zombie's actually in the house with it closed. Whoa, what? Oh, wait. What's going on here? Oh, this feels weird. The way the behavior of the... Okay, we're out of here. I don't know what's going on there. That's really weird. Now we're blocked in. What's going on? Oh, my goodness. Things are getting kind of hectic. Alright, let's see if we're going to have time to... And this is why I like the fiber compress, because this will give us a little bit of a chance to recover. That was really weird. I'm glad I had that recorded, because that was just really strange. They were just like right in that house coming after me. So now we continue our quest looking for a crowbar. Now if you guys have played this game as long as I have, then you guys know every little nook, cranny, grass blade, tree twig, bush, whatever. So there's O-line. We just came from over there. And I've always liked this little spot right here. It's always yielded some pretty decent stuff. What I did was I stopped on the bridge to bandage. But I wanted to come here because it's a possibility that I could have found a crowbar here. But it looks like I did not score a crowbar. Dynamite. Tempting. That'd probably be something you'd want if you were on PvP. Because let's go check that bulk on that real quick. See how much bulk dynamite is. Whoops, did it disappear on us? Yeah, it's 25 bulk. That wouldn't be too bad to pick up. Okay, well, we didn't score a crowbar over here, and I thought we would. So we're going to keep looking. Alright, so now we're going to check this little cabin down here behind O-line. And somebody's made their little base over there. That's not a bad little spot. I kind of like that. Let's use one of the few skins I have on the test server here on the character. Okay, it didn't change the position. As a matter of fact, it shows it as warm blue jeans. Yeah, those are kind of nice. I like those. Tactical pants with knee pads. Alright, there's... Hey, what do you know? Crowbar. We're going to go ahead and grab the crowbar. We're going to go ahead and grab the steel. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make our foundation, of course. And let's see. It's so funny when you guys are watching me do this live. It's kind of like the microphone kind of like gets in my way. And I can't really see well. Foundation. So we need 50 stone, 20 zinc, and 5 copper. So we'll get right on that. But first, let's go ahead and finish looting this cabin here. These cabins feel kind of a little bit smaller. See, I'm used to looting these little dressers or nightstands or whatever they are in Badwater Canyon. If you guys always wonder why I keep calling it Blackwater instead of Badwater, you guys may be familiar with Blackwater Security Group. They're kind of a private security firm that went out to Iraq. And kind of right now in the U.S., we have more private security firms in Afghanistan and Iraq than we do actual soldiers on the ground. But anyway, that's where that Blackwater Canyon thing comes from all the time. So I apologize for that. You guys have been good about not trying to correct me on that, but... And we found our first wolf. This is our second wolf encounter, which is not uncommon. Let's see what we got here. A nail, thank you. Man, we appreciate that. Let's go ahead and check this cabin over here, too. So that's why I always say Blackwater. There's a lot of zombies. This is something kind of, sort of new, I guess you could say. Yeah, I guess it's kind of nice that they're here. Let's go ahead and get some more cloth. You can never have enough cloth. We're also going to need cloth to make our little cot for the base. But it's really not like a major priority. I like having a bow. Should we get the bow now? Let's see. I think we'll get the bow. Let's go ahead and get the bow. This means we're going to be really limited as far as like what additional items we could carry, but right now the priority was to get our main building components, and we have them all. We have our axe for wood, we have our crowbar for steel, and we have our pick for stone. And now we're going to head over and find a place to drop this stash. Alright, so let's check out this cabin real quick before we put the stash down. So we got some food over here. That'll give us some more steel. Although our hunger is good. And I still haven't found any water yet. There's a match. I haven't found a lighter either. So we're going to go ahead and grab those 2 matches because those will come in handy. I'm not going to eat another canned good. I just made some more bandages. So off we go to plant the stash. Alright guys, now this is for the veteran players. You're going to have to be super sharp. You're going to have to be super alert. What can you tell me about this section of the map right where I'm running? What do you notice? What do you notice? They fixed the shoreline. Remember that sharp edge that was right here? It would be a sharp edge from right here to right over here. So very nicely done on the devs. All those years. I don't want to say it like that. That sounds kind of terrible. But the point being here is that I did want to point out that they did fix this one little strip. How very nice. So we're coming up on a pretty interesting looking base over here. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of this thing. Now that is quite interesting. Not sure what particular advantage it has over any other type of build, but it certainly is kind of cool. Contrasted in the background with the moon in the background. And of course we have the ubiquitous wolf in the background howling at the moon as we slowly approach our stash area. I'm kind of stalling for time just now, but I figured I'd at least let you guys in on that. So let's see, with that base over there, I should be able to put down the foundation in this normal spot. If not, I can still go ahead and put down the stash, which I'm going to put kind of over here in this area here, so I know that no one will actually try to put down a foundation on top of that. So we're going to go ahead and put that down. Okay, so our time right now, we will do an inventory check here. All right, so stash coming down. Alright, so here we go. We have our crowbar. We have our machete, defensive and offensive weapon. We have our axe. We have our bow. I made some arrows a little while ago. We got food, backup food in case we need it. We got our matches. Alright, so obviously you guys can see everything that you would need just to get everything started on the roll. And we have been playing now for 45 minutes. So now that we have the stash down, I'm going to go ahead and just grab some steel because I'm going to need to make a gate for the foundation because we're going to need a placeable. We can check this. Okay, it's leather. We need some water. We need some water. We should be able to find some water over here in the area. We don't need any more cloth, but you know we can go ahead and get it now that we have room. We have the stash down, so now we have like a whole other set of room. Let's go ahead and put our cloth up here in our satchel, and we'll go ahead and just get. You can never have like enough cloth, but wow, it looks kind of sparse over here. Let's go check. Could go to the apartments, but let's go check the store, the gas station, real quick. We should be able to find a backpack over here. Looks like we got a wolf on us. You stop. There we go. Some water. Excellent. We'll go ahead and just drink that water and keep the bottle. I normally like to keep about maybe like 3 bottles on me. No more than that, especially in the early game. Don't really need that many more bottles. Just 3 should be fine. Because what you'll do is you can make a campfire and then just recycle the bottles next to the water as you're standing there. Nothing too surprising here. We're in Z1. Although I am getting a little bit of hitching when I start the video, which is kind of unusual. I've not had that since maybe the beginning of early access, and it looks like we get glass every time we hit it. So that's something I always have to try to be mindful of. Don't really need the fire arrows, as neat as they are. We certainly don't need the handcuffs either. You guys can let me know down in comments if you even bother with handcuffs. Whether you're a PvP player or not, whether or not you use handcuffs. So we're going to just make a quick run over here back and see if we can find maybe a backpack. We might even be able to find one over in that house next to us. Oh, baggy browns. Gotta love them. I love those baggy brown pants. Really, really do. Let's go ahead and eat that chicken so we can both get food and steel. Do we want to change out our machete? Yeah, why not? We'll go with the newer look. We'll go with the fashionable one. And we'll go ahead and pick up those arrows too, since I did use a few of them earlier. Alright, so now we're going to go and check that house. Check it out. A little bit of hitching there as I started the video. That was kind of an awkward sensation. Hey, hippo lighter. Alright, so we got our lighter. So we'll keep those matches we had earlier, because those will always come in handy. We'll go ahead and get some more steel from this. Alright. Not really worried about a battery, to be honest with you. Some new game music. Oh, we got a wolf here. Didn't even hear it. Did you guys hear that? I didn't hear it. Let's go out here and kill him. Oh, we got 2 of them. Oh boy, they're doing their funky little... They act like cats, not dogs. Dogs don't do this stuff, do they? It's more like something a cat does. Come on, guys, stand still. Oh, we got 3 of them. There we go. There we go. And one more. There we go. Alright, how about that? 3 in a row. Because wolves like... I don't know, I guess they like me. I'm just like constantly killing wolves. And my guildmates are always looking for fuel or meat. And they're like, I can't ever find any wolves. And I'm like, man, just hang out with me. And you'll find some wolves in no time. So we're going to go back here and finish off searching this house. The behavior of the wolves seems a little... I mean, their actual behavior that we just saw there is not really that big of a deal. The big thing is that if you noticed, they never bit me, I guess. Or that I would never... oh, here comes another one. See, the reason I left the recording is because you guys probably would never believe me when I said that wolves just, like, follow me everywhere. Now, see, I don't want to tear up my... I don't want to tear up this machete on these bizarre behaving wolves, so let's just stand here and we'll kill yet another one. Because I'll take the meat. There we go. I guess they think they're being clever by doing a little walking around. It's just like, I think it's like just enough time for you to draw your bow, and then he's already on you again. So it's like you can't really do much with the bow. It's just kind of maybe to irritate you a little bit with the bow. We'll go ahead and shred that, and we will make a couple more field gauzes. So we'll go ahead and make 2 more, and that should help. That should do it. So we got 7 of them. Yeah, we got a total of 7. I like leaving them up here in the baggy pants because I can go immediately to them. So let's pull the steel down into the satchel. And pull the wolf meat down here too. That bottle and the fat. Just get it out of that top one. So it's almost exclusively bandages. We'll leave the arrows in there too to kind of take up a little bit of room. Alright, so far, no backpack. So this is one of my old reliable spots. It used to have a backpack here. About 70% of the time, so I'm going to have to relearn. No space for the wrench? Really? I guess we're filled up, but this would be a good opportunity to get a wrench if we needed one. We don't really need one. Don't need a spring either. But it would be nice to find a backpack. Let's see what we have here. We'll take that cherry drink. We'll take the steel. And we'll go ahead and eat the vegetables as well. Get that additional steel. And we will continue our quest for a backpack. So we're here at the Cranberry Police Station to see if there's anything worthwhile here. Now, back in the earlier days when the station first came out, we were able to find backpacks fairly regularly around here in these particular lockers here, but not so much in these lockers or the main lockers, because these would have your body armors and your weapons. So let's just take a quick look here and see. It looks like it may be somebody. There we go. We'll take that body armor for sure. That'd be handy. Don't want to take the Molotov just yet. Not yet. More body armor. Sleeping mat. You know what? I don't have room for a sleeping mat, but we'll be close enough to a house and a cabin that I won't need one, because eventually we'll make one. So we're still looking for the backpack, and we are now about 50 minutes into the game. Alright guys, I like the convenience stores because they sometimes do have the opportunity to have backpacks, I'd say more often than not. So we're gonna look. Ah, there we go. Alright, score. Alright, so that means we are now in 55 minutes. So in 55 minutes we have now secured a backpack. Now some of you may be asking, well, what about the furnace and what about the barbecue? Remember, this objective here in this veteran mode is to go A to B in the most proficient way possible. And that is like, what would a player need to do to get just the most basic items and be able to accomplish or maximize what they already have. And the way to do that, or in this particular fashion, is to get the gate. But remember, we don't necessarily have to just get enough for the gate. So yes, as we go ahead and harvest here, because we have a backpack, I'll be able to get both the plastic, screws, and steel for the furnace and the barbecue, which all comes together. So in just a moment here, we'll take a look at our inventory. And you can see I'm going to go ahead and just lose the oil because that's really there to make cleaning kits, which I'm glad that we can make those again. That's very nice. See, we're up to 73 steel, so it's not even an issue. And there's still plenty of room in our backpack, so steel's not going to be an issue. I am going to keep the springs so that we can make our cot later. Now, a cot isn't super critical, especially if you can find a sleeper. But I'm going to go ahead and just keep a few of the screws because they're just one bulk a piece, so that's not a big deal. So keep your eyes and go ahead and keep your springs to make your cots. And of course your plastic you're going to need for your barbecue. But of course, naturally we want to focus on our steel. So we're going to grab a few more steel and then we'll head back to the stash to dump this off. Alright, so now we're back at the stash. We're 1 hour and 6 minutes into actual gameplay time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dump off our material. As you can see here, I killed a few more wolves along the way. So, look at that, 10 wolf meat just from being out and gathering and collecting basic material. So, what I want to do though right now is I did have to use a few more field gauze, as you can see. So what I'm going to work on right now, well first we're going to go ahead and take a drink. I'm glad I got 2 of these cherry super raids. Those are going to come in very hugely handy. And as you can see, we're tired. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over there to the cabin. And we're going to combine both running to the cabin and getting our fiber compress together. So right now, we're going to head up here, grab some sticks for some fiber, and we will start making our fiber compress. We'll go ahead and get our fiber and resin from some of the sticks, because this way we can also collect wood. So this is kind of providing us with the benefit of getting wood on top of getting the resin and the fiber. So this is not a bad deal. This keeps us from having to chop down trees, but at the same time we can also benefit from getting wood. And you want to maximize your time as best you can. Okay, so I went ahead and I just picked all the stick bushes in this area. And so now we're ready to go ahead and get some rest. We can use some water, so we'll grab, well, that's dirty water. We'll go ahead and grab some, well, let's get some food too while we're here, if I can see it, because that will also serve as steel. Okay, I'm gonna have to grab it. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead, and you can see we've collected 33 wood just from stick bushes. And we were able to accomplish, here's some water, and we were able to accomplish 2 things. Both getting the fiber and the resin to make some more of our fiber compress, and we can make up to 5, which is excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and make all 5 of the compress, because wolves have just been, I mean, there's just been tons of wolves. So now we're set. We got our compress. We got our field gauze up here. So go ahead and put this up here at the top. Now that we're rested up, let's go ahead and clear the cabin. So we have another pickaxe here. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab, well, we got a crowbar and a pickaxe. So let's go ahead and grab that. And let's go ahead and make a little bit of a fashion statement and grab something different to wear here. So now we head back to our stash with the loot that we have. And now that it's daytime, I can go ahead and do the intro and the thumbnail for this video. Okay, so now we're back at our stash. And I'm going to go ahead and make a campfire for right now, so we can go ahead and cook up all of our water and get that taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and just put down the campfire. And now what we're going to start to do is we're going to start collecting for our foundation. And along the way with collecting for the foundation, we're also going to want to start collecting for our workbench. Because our workbench is we're going to need the workbench, obviously, to make our gate. So that too is going to be one of those other priorities that we have to concentrate on from time to time. Cooked up, so we're prepared with both water and food. If we need food, we just grab berries. Now, I could have cooked the wolf meat, but I am kind of just, again, trying to strategize in the quickest A to B. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so why did I mention the gate when I knew I needed the workbench? Well, that was just kind of an oversight on my part. But yes, you will need a workbench to be able to complete the gate. But that wasn't to suggest that I had completely avoided making the deck foundation. What it is normally in some cases, like when I'm with my guildmates, we may go ahead and just make a shack that we can all work out of. But again, these are other variables and other scenarios. So now that we have our water, now that we have a source of food, and we have our foundational area here with our stash, we can now go ahead and start collecting for our foundation. And as of right now, we are an hour and 10 minutes into gameplay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start collecting the needed items for the foundation. And we're going to keep everything we get here. We're going to keep the stone, we're going to keep the zinc, and we're going to keep the copper, because we're going to need to make our furnace to then potentially make our nails, to then make our workbench. Now, I thought I had enough to make the workbench just from out looting. Now, you don't necessarily want to be out and try to just loot nails, because you're not always going to find them, and you're not going to be able to get them obviously from cars. So you can only get nails just out in the environment, or you have to make them. And right now we're at 6 nails in the inventory, so we're too short from making the workbench. So we will end up going to have to go ahead and make that furnace, which isn't going to be a big deal, because we're going to have the materials to do that. So we'll go ahead and do that here once we collect our materials. Alright, so right now we've collected enough stone. I'm going to go ahead and actually drop 5 of these. But while I'm in the area, I'm going to go ahead and collect both the copper and zinc, because we'll need the copper for the furnace, and we'll need the zinc for the additional nails, especially to make our workbench and such, but there's enough space. But also want to point out to you guys, look at that. Look at the pick. I don't know what happened to it. That's quite a bizarre looking texture that's on there. And yeah, along the way I've been killing some of these zombies too. I hear one somewhere here, to maybe get a warning letter, but so far I've not. What's going on with this guy? There we go. So far I've not had any drops at all. I mean, like none. Not a bag of any kind at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish harvesting this one stone here, and then we'll head back to the stash. As much as I liked having that machete, which came in very handy, so thank you to the machete, we're gonna go ahead and drop it, and we're gonna grab the saber, and hopefully along the way we'll find that katana somewhere along the way. And there's that texture on the pick. Looks kind of cool. At least it makes it easier to see on the back of my character. And now we're heading back to the stash. So on the way back to the stash, I'm a little concerned about what I see here as I look into the environment, because I definitely don't want to run there and potentially fall through the geometry. So this is kind of an interesting little glitch in the game. So I'm certainly just going to avoid this area altogether. Or what I may have to do is log out and then log back in and hopefully clear this glitch. Because the last thing you're going to want to do is fall through the geometry and lose everything that we just have right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just log out, guys, in this section here, and we'll come back to the video. We are now 1 hour and 15 minutes into actual gameplay. 1 hour, 15 minutes into actual gameplay. Okay, so we're logged back in. I think we're safe, yep, because all this area here was kind of glitched. So it looks like we're going to be safe, and we're going to head back to the stash. So hopefully, I'm sure a dev or two is probably going to watch the video and they'll see that section of it, but it cleared up. Now, I don't know what would have happened if I would have ran into that glitch. There's no way I would have wanted to test it with this character. Now, what I may have done in a different scenario, if I weren't doing the video, I might have dropped all this gear off and then ran back there and see if I could have fallen through it. But thankfully, it seemed to clear up just by logging in and logging back out. Alright, so off we go to the stash. Now we're back at the stash. We even have our campfire still going, so we might want to go ahead and just take advantage of the fact that the campfire is roaring. So let's go ahead and drink our water. And what I'll probably do too is go ahead and just cook the meat too. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. I'm just really kind of illustrating this point right here just to kind of maximize what you can in the environment. Sometimes I have to make sure that I actually click on the campfire because I'm so used to hitting the tab. Alright, what happened to our wolf meat? I didn't grab it. Alright, let's grab that wolf meat. We'll go ahead and cook that wolf meat too. And it'll kind of free up a little bit of space for us at the moment anyway, out of the stash. Not that that's really relevant. Go ahead and get a little bit of water here. And we'll go ahead and put that in the fire. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our deck foundation. And we don't have to put it down, of course. We can just make it. the idea is to kind of put this together. And let's see, foundation, let's go ahead and make it. So that's done. And let's see, what else? Let's go ahead and make our workbench. What are we lacking here in the workbench? So it looks like we might be lacking, we're lacking the nails. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and maybe kill this zombie that's coming up on us first. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of the zombie. We got our nice saber now. So it should be a one-whack kill. Well, it's not a one-whack kill. Okay, maybe some adjustments were made. Make a note of that, guys. And we're just slicing right on through it. Yeah, finally. Okay. So, let's go ahead and make our furnace. We should have enough to make our furnace, and we do. Alright, and while we're here, and it doesn't require nails, we'll go ahead and make our barbecue grill. Alright, so now we have our barbecue grill. Let's put that in here. We got our furnace. And we have our foundation. Go ahead and put that over here. And let's go ahead and grab our drinks and water out of here. And then we'll go ahead and set up those foundations and furnace and so forth in just a moment. Alright, we are now 1 hour and 45 minutes into gameplay because all along the shoreline, in the areas where I wanted to put down the foundation, I was not able to put it down. So this is kind of a backup to a backup location where I used to put like a farm way back in the day. But I'm also a week behind on putting down a foundation or being in Z1. I've mostly been in Badwater Canyon. So you're going to want to get on here and get your locations as quickly as you can because they go fairly fast. I'm going to put this down in no particular order. Just kind of throw these down, get these going. We're going to go ahead and start cooking our nails so we can make our gate. But yeah, so like the longest amount of time was just simply getting or finding a location to put the base. And this spot right here is in the dam area. So what I try to do is I try to put the foundation near where the stash was, and it was locked out because of POI. I went around the lake all the way to Opfer, checked all around Opfer. Then I hopped across from Opfer over to where the pond was, where the other cabin was, and someone had built a base up on that ridge. You guys might remember when we passed by that earlier in the game. So we ran by there, and that flat spot someone had already grabbed. So it looks like people have probably already tried to utilize some of the best areas possible, which makes perfect sense in the big scheme of things. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that charcoal in the barbecue grill. Or actually, I kept it. I was going to leave it in the barbecue grill. Should be safe. I'm going to leave it in the barbecue grill. That way we can cook with it later. And now we're going to go back all the way to the stash and grab the materials to make our bench. And then we'll make that gate. And then we'll wrap up the veteran mode A to B segue. So I made a quick stop by the cabin to sleep again. And we just now got our hydration warning. Now, I don't want to drink our Super Aid, so I'm just going to go ahead and drink regular water and get that up. Just real quickly, we'll go ahead and take care of that. I did eat some berries, so we didn't have to use our wolf meat, even though I did kill a wolf along the way. So we'll go ahead and drink up the rest of the water. Just get it to 100%. And let's go ahead and make that workbench. That's done. And then that should leave us enough for our, or should leave us enough materials for our metal gateway, but we want to make sure that we have the amount of wood. So here's 3. And we're just going to go ahead and grab, I'm going to go ahead and just grab all the wood. And we're going to need 15 steel. So I'm just going to grab just enough to make it. So the 15 steel. And then we're going to need 10 screws. So here's our screws. We got right at 10. That was just from being out in the environment, so I didn't have to cook any. Mainly wanted to cook those nails so that we can make the workbench. And I'll go ahead and, let's see, fill these 3 bottles with water because we'll be going back to the base. And at the base, we'll have the barbecue grill. So we're looking, the time we're looking at by the time we make it back to the foundation and put down the gate to conclude this, or put down the workbench and the gate to conclude this, we're going to be looking at probably 1 hour and 57 minutes. Now, the biggest amount of time, or the biggest chunk of time, was a result of trying to find a location to put down a foundation. So as I mentioned earlier, it took me 1 week to really come over here to the Z1 server, because that's some other things going on. I want to do some Badwater Canyon stuff and just some other things that were going on. So this was kind of like my almost 4th choice for a place to put the foundation down. This is an old place that I used to use as a farm. In other words, I would put down a ground tamper and just grow a farm there, and that's all it was used for, exclusively for a farm. Now, there were some other choices I could have considered, and that was over near Lone Pine, where there's some nice little flat areas near Lone Pine. But apparently, along this water line, around the dam and around Opfer, it's kind of, I guess it's the old quarantine area now. They did fix some of the water line, as I saw earlier, or as I showed you guys earlier in the video, or it will be earlier in the video, or yesterday in real time. Also, there was a lot of other little things that I had meant to point out to you guys that the development team made changes to, and those are going to be subtle things in the environment. I noticed some correction to some of the stone areas that were a little bugged. I also noticed that we had maybe some additional trees or tree changes. Those were some of the things that I noticed. And just, it looks like, you know, some good progress is being made on this map. Now, the thing is about this location is it's not going to be right next to water, but it's really not that big of a deal. So one of my other choices was this spot right here under Vishen's Peak, which is where we used to build our old deck foundations for our guild. Now, I don't know if these stones are in the way and impeding the placement. It's a possibility, but it's not the best place to put a foundation. Actually, there was like one little spot there a long time ago where you could actually put down a ground tamper. It was a really weird position, but you could get a ground tamper down there, mainly really kind of to store your cars, or if you wanted it exclusively for a farm, and that's what that was really there for, or that's why we used it as part of the guild. So we're almost back to the base, and I will get back to that segment once we get there. We're now back at the foundation, so let's go ahead and put down our workbench. I'm going to pick all this stuff back up, so there's no particular system or order or whatnot. We're going to go ahead and make our gate. This is really just to kind of lock it in, the old traditional having to put down a actual socketable item to preserve the foundation. Or some people would come back and they'd find that all their stuff was gone, and that was never really good. So we want to make sure that we have our socketed item just for illustration, because the team may bring it back. You guys notice that when it snows, it's kind of hard to discern stuff. Maybe it's just me, but I noticed that it is a little more challenging to discern things in the environment when the color is all the same. So let's go ahead and just put this gate down, and we will wrap this up. Now, I will do a traditional closing of the video, of course, but this is essentially going to wrap it up for the video. That's a little too close. Let's go ahead and pick this back up. I want it to be at least one socketable away. Well, actually, we'll just hypothetically suggest that if we get a vehicle, then, you know, maybe we don't want it that close, but it doesn't really matter. It's right here. I mean, stop the vehicle and then drive it in, no big deal. Alright, guys, so from getting our character into the game, gearing up, getting our necessary tools, getting our foundation, getting our building equipment and supplies, you know, obviously putting down our stash and having supplies in our stash, 1 hour, 57 minutes, veteran A to B. Now, there were some little distractions along the way that I didn't really include in the video, obviously, because I just wanted to put down just the direct A to B mode, but hour and 57 minutes for a veteran player. And I say veteran player because many of you guys that have been watching the videos for a while or have been playing as long as I have, which is launch, we kind of know all the areas. We kind of know where to loot. We kind of know where to go. We kind of know what to do. And so we can kind of put these together pretty quickly. Now, granted, there's probably another, I'm going to say maybe just another hour and a half to complete the base, which isn't going to be that big of a deal. Now, I'm looking at the environment that I'm in right now. I see some stone over here, but I might go all the way to DeSoto and just get all my stone there. It just really depends. But anyway, so 1 hour, 57 minutes in veteran mode. And that's going to wrap up this veteran mode segment. If you haven't already, guys, be sure you're following me on the various social media sites. And if you're new to the channel or a frequent visitor,
be sure you click on this icon to subscribe. This way you'll have all the latest out of Daybreak and H1Z1.